Welcome to the Cenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
All right, are you ready to dive into a topic that I think we all crave but often struggle with? A good night's sleep. You've sent in some fascinating research on how to actually reset your sleep cycle in just one night.
Yeah.
And honestly, even I'm skeptical, but I'm always up for a challenge, especially when it comes to optimizing my sleep.
It definitely sounds a bit like a miracle cure, doesn't it? But the science behind this guide is actually pretty intriguing. It's not about magic.
Right.
It's about understanding how our bodies work and strategically using that knowledge to our advantage.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's ditch the sleep-deprived zombie routine and see if we can unlock the secrets to a more rested and rejuvenated version of ourselves. What's the first thing that jumped out at you from this research?
What really caught my eye was how much emphasis it places on the power of light, particularly sunlight. It goes way beyond just feeling energized in the morning. It's like hitting the reset button on your internal clock, that circadian rhythm that dictates your entire sleep-wake cycle.
So it's not just about how much sleep we get, but about syncing up with our natural rhythms.
Yes.
It's almost like we become a bit out of tune with nature, right?
Exactly. Think of it like this. Your circadian rhythm is like a conductor, orchestrating all those essential processes that happen while you sleep.
Okay.
Cell repair, memory consolidation, even emotional processing. But when our modern lifestyles throw those rhythms off, things start to fall apart.
Okay, that analogy makes a lot of sense. So if we want that conductor to lead a beautiful symphony of sleep, we need to give it the right cues.
Right.
And it sounds like sunlight is a major player here.
Absolutely. It's like sending a clear signal to your brain that it's daytime, time to be alert and active. And here's the kicker. You wouldn't believe how little light it takes to disrupt your sleep. Even that dim glow from your alarm clock or phone charging on your nightstand can mess with your melatonin production.
Wait, seriously? So even those tiny lights are sending mixed signals to our brains? I'm starting to realize just how much I've underestimated the power of light.
It's a common misconception. We tend to think of darkness as the key to sleep, which is true, but we often overlook how sensitive our bodies are to even small amounts of light.
Okay, so we need to embrace the darkness. But first, let's talk about harnessing the power of light. What does this guide recommend for resetting our sleep cycle in one night?
It all starts with a surprisingly simple step. Waking up early, ideally around sunrise. I know it sounds counterintuitive when you're exhausted.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's like hitting the reset button on your internal clock.
All right. I'm going to need a bit more convincing on this one. Why is waking up early, even when sleep deprived, so beneficial?
Think of it like this. The earlier you wake up, the more sleep pressure you build up throughout the day. Your body naturally craves sleep as the day goes on, and waking up early reinforces that natural rhythm.
So we're essentially making ourselves more tired so we can sleep better later on.
Exactly. And by getting that early morning sunlight, you're sending a strong signal to your brain that it's time to wake up, boosting your serotonin levels for mood, focus, and alertness.
Okay, I'm starting to see the logic here. It's like setting the stage for a good night's sleep by starting the day, right?
Precisely. And here's another interesting tidbit from the research. Morning sunlight actually helps your body produce melatonin later in the evening when it's time to wind down. It's like a chain reaction that sets the stage for a good night's sleep.
So we're talking about a double whammy of benefits here. What are some practical ways to get that morning sunlight boost? Because let's be real, not all of us can just magically wake up at sunrise and go for a stroll in a meadow.
I hear you. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Even just opening your blinds and letting the light flood in while you sip your coffee can make a difference. A quick walk around the block, if possible, would be even better. The key is to get that exposure as early in the day as possible to maximize its effects.
This is making me rethink my whole morning routine. I usually stumble around in a caffeine-fueled haze until I'm presentable enough to face the world. Maybe some strategic sunlight is what I've been missing all along.
It's definitely worth experimenting with. Now, this next step might be a bit harder for some of us to swallow, resisting the siren call of the afternoon nap.
Oh no. Are you telling me to ditch my sacred afternoon power nap?
Not necessarily forever, but strategically avoiding them, especially when you're trying to reset your sleep cycle, can be a game changer. Naps can interfere with your natural sleep drive, making it harder to fall asleep later on.
I can definitely see how that would happen.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting a little preview of sleep and your body's like, wait, weren't we supposed to be doing this later?
Exactly. You're essentially borrowing sleep from your nighttime bank, and it can make it harder to fall asleep when you actually want to.
So what's the solution? Just power through those afternoon slumps. I'm not sure my productivity can handle that.
We all have those days when a nap is unavoidable, and that's okay.
Right.
But think of it as a strategic power-up, not a full-on sleep session. Keep it short, no more than 20 minutes, and aim for that sweet spot before 3 p.m.
Okay, I can live with that. A quick recharge without messing up my sleep schedule. So we've covered waking up early, embracing the morning light, and being mindful of naps. What's next on this sleep cycle reset agenda?
Step 4 involves incorporating some physical activity into your day. Now, before you groan, I'm not talking about an intense gym session. Even a brisk walk or some light yoga can make a world of difference.
All right, I'm all for getting my heart rate up. Tell me how exercise fits into this sleep cycle reset plan.
Well, think of it as a way to expend excess energy and reduce those pesky stress hormones that can keep you up at night.
So we're talking about tiring ourselves out physically so we can rest more soundly mentally. But what about the timing of exercise? Does it matter when we get those endorphins pumping?
It actually does. Aiming for physical activity in the morning or early afternoon helps reinforce your natural circadian cues. It's like telling your body, hey, we're active and alert during daylight hours. But we want to avoid those intense workouts too close to bedtime.
Right, because I can only imagine that burst of energy would be counterproductive when you're trying to wind down for the night.
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're getting the benefits of exercise without disrupting your sleep later on.
Okay, so we've covered waking up early, sunlight, no naps, and getting some exercise in. What's next on this sleep cycle reset agenda?
Step 5 is all about being mindful of what and when we eat.
Oh, this is interesting. I've definitely noticed that late night snacking can sometimes make it harder to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit of a foodie, so I'm hoping this isn't going to be a super restrictive diet plan.
Don't worry, it's not about depriving yourself. It's more about making strategic choices that support your sleep. We'll dive into the specifics after a quick break.
Okay.
But the general idea is to give your body ample time to digest before you hit the pillow.
Okay, I can definitely get on board with that. Listeners, make sure to tune into part 2 of this deep dive, where we'll unpack the fascinating connection between food and sleep.
Welcome back, sleep enthusiasts. Before the break, we were teasing the tantalizing connection between food and sleep.
Right, because I think we all know that feeling of trying to sleep after a super heavy meal. But what exactly is the science behind it?
It really comes down to giving your digestive system a break before you try to rest your entire body. Think about it. If your stomach is working overtime to digest a big, greasy burger, it's sending signals to your brain that it's time to be awake and active, not snoozing peacefully.
So it's almost like our bodies are designed to focus on one major task at a time, either digesting or resting, but not both simultaneously.
Exactly. That's why this guide emphasizes the importance of finishing dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime. That gives your body plenty of time to process that food and shift into rest and repair mode.
Okay, that seems reasonable enough. But is it just about the timing, or are there specific types of food we should be avoiding close to bedtime?
Both are important. Obviously, we want to steer clear of those gut-busting meals late at night, the ones that leave you feeling heavy and uncomfortable. But even seemingly innocent snacks can mess with your sleep if they're the wrong kind.
So what should we be reaching for if we're feeling peckish in the evening?
This is where it gets really interesting. There are actually certain foods that can actually promote sleep. Think complex carbs like quinoa or brown rice, lean protein sources like turkey or tofu, and magnesium-rich vegetables like spinach or broccoli.
That sounds like a pretty delicious and balanced meal. Anything else we should add to our pre-sleep plate?
Foods rich in tryptophan can be particularly helpful because tryptophan is a precursor to melatonin, that all-important sleep hormone.
Right.
Think bananas, nuts, and seeds. A small handful before bed might just do the trick.
Oh, a banana and nut butter snack sounds pretty tempting right now.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious about those sleep supplements you mentioned earlier. Melatonin, magnesium, L-Theanine. How do those fit into the picture?
Well, it's important to remember that supplements aren't a magic bullet. They can be helpful tools, especially if you're struggling with sleep or adjusting to a new schedule, but they should always be used in conjunction with healthy sleep habits, not as a replacement for them.
So it's all about a holistic approach. setting the stage for good sleep with a healthy diet, consistent routines, and then maybe using supplements as a little extra support if needed.
Exactly. And with any supplement, it's always best to start with a low dose and see how your body responds. It's also crucial to consult with your doctor, especially if you have any underlying health conditions or are taking medications.
That's such an important reminder. We don't want to be playing doctor with ourselves. Okay, so we've covered diet and supplements. What's the next piece of the puzzle when it comes to resetting our sleep cycle?
Now we're moving into the realm of creating the perfect sleep environment. It's all about transforming your bedroom into a sleep sanctuary, a haven of rest and relaxation.
Ooh, this is where I get to unleash my inner interior designer. I'm all for creating a cozy and inviting space for sleep. What are some key elements we should focus on?
We want to hit the sweet spot for temperature, ideally between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay,
That slight coolness signals to your body that it's time to wind down.
I can definitely relate to that. I always sleep better when it's a bit chilly in my room.
It's not just about comfort either. A drop in body temperature actually helps facilitate sleep onset.
Wow, I had no idea there was actual science behind my preference for a cool bedroom. What about light? We've talked about the importance of sunlight in the morning, but what about darkness at night?
Darkness is absolutely crucial for melatonin production.
Okay,
We want to create a sleep environment that's as close to pitch black as possible. That might mean investing in blackout curtains, using an eye mask, or even just covering up those tiny LED lights on your electronics.
I'm a big fan of blackout curtains. They make a huge difference in blocking out those pesky street lights. But what about noise? I live in a fairly noisy neighborhood. Are earplugs the only solution?
Earplugs can definitely help, but there are other options too. A white noise machine or even just a fan can work wonders in drowning out those distracting sounds.
Ah, the soothing hum of a fan. It's like a lullaby for adults. What about comfort? I imagine a comfy bed is pretty essential for a good night's sleep.
Absolutely. It might be time to assess that old mattress and those lumpy pillows. Invest in quality bedding that provides support and comfort. It's worth every penny.
I'm all about that thread count. Anything else we should consider when creating our sleep haven?
This might sound a bit surprising, but even decluttering your bedroom can have a positive impact on your sleep.
Okay, that makes sense. A cluttered space can definitely contribute to a cluttered mind, making it harder to relax and unwind.
Exactly. A tidy and organized room promotes a sense of calm and tranquility, setting the stage for a more restful night's sleep.
So we're talking about a clean, cool, dark, quiet, and comfy bedroom is the foundation for good sleep. But we've also talked a lot about habits and routines. Is there anything else we can do to actively prepare our minds and bodies for sleep?
This is where the idea of a relaxing bedtime routine comes in. It's all about signaling to your brain that it's time to transition from wakefulness to sleep.
So we're talking about creating those cozy wind-down rituals that help us mentally prepare for slumber. But I have to admit, I'm sometimes guilty of scrolling through my phone in bed until I pass out.
I think we're all guilty of that from time to time. But remember that blue light emitted from screens is a major melatonin suppressor. Ideally, we want to avoid all screens in the hour leading up to bedtime.
Okay, I can definitely see how that would make a difference. But let's be real. Completely disconnecting in today's world can be a challenge. Are there any compromises we can make?
Absolutely. Most devices now have a blue light filter or night mode setting that you can activate after sunset. It shifts the screen to a warmer, less stimulating color palette. And if you're someone who needs to use screens for work or other reasons late at night, you might consider investing in a pair of blue light-blocking glasses.
I've heard good things about those. I might have to give them a try. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, everything from diet and exercise to sleep supplements and creating the perfect sleep environment. It's amazing how many factors can influence our sleep. But we've only scratched the surface of some key topics.
You're right. We still need to delve deeper into the fascinating world of melatonin and the disruptive effects of blue light. We'll uncover those mysteries and wrap up our sleep cycle reset adventure in part 3.
Listeners, make sure to stick around for the grand finale of our Sleep Cycle Reset Odyssey. Welcome back, Sleep Sleuths. We've explored a whole arsenal of strategies for resetting your sleep cycle, but there are a couple of key players we need to investigate further before we wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah, you're right. We can't talk about sleep without shining a spotlight on melatonin, that mysterious hormone that seems to hold the key to a good night's rest.
Okay, melatonin. It's a word we hear all the time, but I'm ready to move beyond the buzzword and really understand what it is and why it's so crucial for sleep.
Think of melatonin as your body's natural sleep inducer, the signal that tells your brain it's time to power down for the night. It's produced by the pineal gland in your brain, and its production is directly influenced by light, or rather, the lack of it.
So as darkness falls, melatonin levels rise, and our bodies start preparing for sleep. It's like a natural lullaby, right?
Exactly. But here's where things get interesting. Even dim light can suppress melatonin production. We tend to think of darkness as the absence of light, but even those seemingly insignificant sources of light that glow from your alarm clock, the street light peeking through your curtains, can disrupt your melatonin production and delay sleep onset.
Wow, it's amazing how sensitive our bodies are to light. It really highlights the importance of creating that truly dark sleep environment we talked about earlier. But we've also mentioned blue light quite a bit, and I'm curious to understand how it fits into the picture.
Blue light is a specific wavelength of light that's particularly stimulating to our brains. It's emitted naturally by the sun, which is why we feel alert and awake during the day. But it's also emitted by those ubiquitous screens we're all glued to. Phones, tablets, computers, TVs.
Right. So we're essentially bathing ourselves in artificial daylight long after the sun is set, tricking our brains into thinking it's still go time.
Exactly. And that's a recipe for sleep disruption. Blue light exposure in the evening suppresses melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
So it's not just about the quantity of sleep we get, but also the quality. It's like we're getting fragmented, less restful sleep when we're exposed to too much blue light at night.
You're exactly right. That's why it's so crucial to minimize blue light exposure in the hours leading up to bedtime. And remember those blue light filters and glasses we discussed earlier?
Yeah.
Those can be game changers for mitigating the negative effects of evening screen time.
It's like we have this whole toolkit for optimizing our sleep, from diet and exercise to environmental tweaks and even light manipulation.
And the best part is you don't have to overhaul your entire life to see results. Even small changes can make a big difference.
So what's the biggest takeaway you hope listeners glean from this deep dive?
Well, I think the most important message is that good sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's essential for our physical and mental well-being. And it's something we can all actively improve by understanding the science behind it and making strategic choices.
This has been an incredibly enlightening journey into the world of sleep. I'm feeling inspired to prioritize my sleep and put all these newfound strategies into practice. What about you, listeners? What one change are you most excited to try out to improve your sleep? Share your experiences with us on social media. We'd love to hear from you. Until then, sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams, everyone. Here's to waking up feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to conquer the day.
Thanks for tuning in to the Cenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit Cenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.